Alright, so it cut off my other live. I guess it was like, bitch, you talking too much, or I don't know. Anywho, so yeah, maybe I was talking too much. So, excuse me. So you got to deal with those types of temptations every now and then, you know, to test you and be like, are you sure you want this? Because, you know, what if it's something better for you? And the devil, or, you know, the lower vibrational energy never has any good intentions for you. The intentions of these lower vibrational energies is to get you to believe in this fuckery. It's never for your highest good. It's always to get you trapped and caught up in something. So it wouldn't make sense for me to go backwards to say an ex that I just got away from. How do I fuck? See how this shit works. I'm trying to figure out how to close this other live stream out. I knew it was gonna do something funny. Okay. It's always like some fucking bullshit. Because it's like, oh no, shut her up. Shut this bitch up. So, like I said, there's never anything good that comes out of going backwards or entertaining something silly. There's never any type of good that comes out of that. Like I said, what the enemy tries to do is to trip you back up and get you caught up in a cycle that you already cleared yourself away from. So going back to the past, or going back to what you used to do and the people that you used to kick it with and all of that, that's to get you caught back up in the cycle again, basically. So the devil was trying to talk, the devil was trying to talk Jesus out of his promise and get him to believe, or trick him into believing that it wasn't his. It was already his to begin with. All right, I don't even know how to get to the live streams and then stop them. So I don't know. All right, anyway. So verse number 8 says, the accuser showed him all of the kingdoms and riches. Verse number 9 saying, all of these kingdoms I will give to you if you kneel to me and worship me. So giving into your temptations, giving into the devil and worship, meaning to show some type of honor or allegiance to the fuckery, feeding into the fuckery, giving to it. Basically to turn away from everything that you work for, everything that you've healed from, everything that you prayed for, everything that you've been manifesting and visualizing, or whatever, however you want to take it, to get you to that place. So I don't know how to get to my live streams. It won't let me, and I have to close it off. I don't know how to go back to it. So yeah, it says, Jesus said, go away, enemy, for the scriptures say, kneel before the Lord your God and worship only him. So again, he had a rebuttal. He was like, fuck you, enemy. Like, I ain't kneeling to you. You're my fucking enemy. Why would I align myself with the fuckery, the bullshit, the falseness, the lies, or whatever, the illusion of what you're showing, the fuckery? Why would I bow to that? Why would I subscribe to that? Basically, that's what he's saying. Then number 11, verse number 11 says, once the accuser had left, the angels suddenly gathered around him to minister to his needs. So soon as the enemy left, because in short, in hindsight, when you're in that state of, when you're wrestling with those energies, those lower vibrational energies, those thoughts, those fears, those illusions, when you get to a place where you rebuttal it enough, it's like, okay, it flees, it has to go. That's when all of a sudden you have all of this clarity, your spiritual guides, your angels, your ancestors, God, you start to hear everything more clearly. Everything is more balanced. more aligned. So what I took from that is the angels gathered around him, meaning the spiritual presence was on him after he had cleared that energy, after he fought with that energy, that lower vibrational energy. That's what I took from this. So when you're in that state, because you got to continue to fight. When you're in that state in your mind or your emotions and you're dealing with all of that, you got to have something to combat it so that it flees. And I have a scripture for that as well, and I'll save that towards the end. But this is like, when you're dealing with that energy, you cannot sit in that. And I know how it feels. It feels horrible when you're in that energy, when you like listening to all those negative thoughts and those feelings and all of these illusions, and you start creating all these false images, like, oh well, what if, and you start playing with the what ifs, you start playing with your fear, gets in the way. All of that, you gotta fight past that energy and say, no, that's not true. That is not in alignment with my truth. That is not what I believe, or that's not what I've been shown. That's not. You gotta continue to fight. All right, until it flees. It has no choice but to flee. So we're gonna get into the crucifixion of Jesus. Matthew 27, 32 through 54. And I still would associate that with the hangman card, because the hangman is pretty much, it explains the whole purpose of, I'm really upset because I think everybody is still sitting on that other live and there's nothing happening over there, and I can't figure out how to find live streams on this thing to make it stop, like stop the live stream. And on top of that, I want it to publish, like I want it to be posted. So this is like some bullshit. I don't know. I might have to, I don't know, start all over. I don't see anything about live streams on this thing. Because it's this dashboard thing, it's new and I don't know how to even use it. Fuck. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I know, but I just like went into all of that and I'm like stuck because I'm trying to figure out how to stop that live and I can't. I went into all of that. Almost feels like I said all of that for nothing. And I know that's a lie. I didn't do all of this for nothing. I'm trying to be patient because I don't know how to stop that live stream. And this community tab, this new thing is so confusing. I don't know how to use it. And I don't want to interrupt this. I don't want to interrupt this whole live. I'm kind of frustrated because that other one's still streaming. I know it's still streaming. Because I wanted to get into this. Because this whole thing is not like a sermon. It's not to preach to anyone. This is like using the parables of the Bible to help in this season that you're in. Because I've gone through it plenty of times. And I know you guys do too. And you don't understand why you're going through it and all of that sometimes. Like, you may not get it. You may not understand why you're in this series or how to even deal with it. So I'm just helping you guys with it and how the word stood out to me, and it's so clear. So I'm trying to make it make sense in a mundane sense and a level to where it's not like Christianity, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so the crucifixion of Jesus, it still has that hangman energy and I'll get into it. You'll probably understand. So there's further going into the mockery. So when he's in the streets and he's carrying the cross and all of that, and he's being accused as well, by all of the heads and all of the people in the city and stuff like that. It's still that ongoing mockery. So that's why it reminds me of the hangman, because if you read up on the story and the tarot of what the hangman represents, it is a crucifixion, it is a sacrifice, it is you do go through a humiliation. It's like a humiliation ritual, basically. Not in that sense, but I get it, like in that sense too, as far as like, you know, the cult shit and all that other shit. But yeah, it's very similar. So we're still in that hangman energy. So they talk about verse 32 through 43 in Matthew's 27. They talk about the mockery, the whispering spirits that come in and try to tell you, oh, you can't do it. I thought you said you was gonna do this, and oh, I thought you said you were gonna manifest this, or all of this stuff that you said that you thought you were gonna do. Why can't you do it? So in verse 40 it says, you who are going to destroy the temple, meaning dismantle the faulty foundations, because the temple is like, it's a holy place. In the temple, they talk about it, and I'll get into what the temple is, but they talk about the temple in a way, it's a place where there was like thieves and like selling and like basically like hustlers on the street and shit, like doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing in that holy place. So Jesus was mad at them. What I took from that, again, is destroying the faulty foundations, and I'll get into the tower, because I feel like the temple represents the tower moment. I'll get into that, because everything in the Bible is symbolic. So it says the temple, to destroy the temple and build it up in 3 days and save yourself. So they're making fun of him. They're saying, so it's you, this person right here, the person that's being like that's about to get crucified and all of that, being spit on and all this other shit. You this person, you're the one that's about to tear down and dismantle all of these structures and all of this. You're going to tear down all these structures, generational curses. You're going to do all of that. You're going to destruct all of this falseness, and you're going to rise in 3 days, or you're going to bring everything back to its goodness in 3 days. Meaning 3, I feel like, is a number of creation. It's a number of ascension, because they speak about 3 quite a bit. Jesus was crucified at the age of 33. That's an ascension number. So they talk about that often. So you're going to build this temple up yourself in 3 days, and you can't even save yourself in this moment. So that's the whispering spirits, the thoughts that you have, like, I'm in this state where I'm at right now. How am I going to make this happen? How is this even possible? And you start questioning yourself. So it's like pretty much, and it could also be people outside of you telling you this, like, oh, you ain't gonna be able to do that. And I have it too. I'll use this as an example. Oh, you're gonna stay in this living situation forever. I don't know how you're gonna get out of that. Yo, you're just gonna be in that same situation. One of my family members said that. And they said something else fucking crazy. I'm not gonna say it's too personal, but pretty much saying like, you're not gonna be able to get out of the situation, because I said, when I move, or when this such and such happens, and they just pretty much laughed it off, like, yeah, right, bitch, like, it's not gonna happen. Pretty much, basically, that's how I took it. So this message, you can take it in that sense where it's not only just the battle in your mind, but it's also people outside of you talking down on you and having you to look at your current situations as if where your current circumstances where you are dictates your future, what's promised for you, which is a lie. It does not. We have to remind ourselves of that. So verse number 42 says, he saved others, but he can't save himself. He's the king of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, aka burdens. We'll believe in him. So you can save everybody else. You can do all this for everybody else, be Superman, Superwoman for everybody else, but you can't even save yourself. And sometimes that's a wrestle too, right? Where you say to yourself, like, I've been here for everybody, I've done such and such, and but me, I can't even get my own life together. I'll be saying that sometimes too. Like, I could help everybody with their situations and give them guidance and help them with their love life, and my shit is like not popping. It's just not happening, and my life is like not where I want it to be. So how is that? And that's the trick of the devil, or the lower vibrational energies of those people that are sent, those people in your life, or people that naysayers or whoever that are sent to test you or sent to destroy you, if they can get in your mind. Yes, test is testimony. So for verse 43 says, he trusts in God, and they're mocking your faith. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants. So they're saying, if you're even worthy. So it's like that thought, he trusts in God. Oh, he trusts in a God that can't help him. So, or trusting in some, is, let's use it as a metaphor. For those of you that don't believe in God, or whatever you call it, the universe, or whatever you call it, or your angels, your ancestors. It's like, oh, you believe in this, but you can't even get yourself out of this fucked up situation. So mocking your faith. And then the line where they said, let God rescue him now if he wants, for he said, I am the Son of God. So they're saying, if you're even worthy. Are you even worthy? You say that you're the Son of God, you're this light being, you can do this, you know, I'm a positive person, I'm a light worker, or whatever you say that you are, in the light of you talking that light within yourself, who you are as a divine creator or co-creator with the universe. They're saying, if you're even worthy of that. Like, are you even that? Because you can't even change your circumstances right now. So if you are that. So that's the mockery. So then we get into the death of Jesus, which goes into the death card, the ego death, as we call it. The ego death is about shedding and renewal, rebirth, giving up the old, which is a painful experience. If anybody's ever been in the moment of the death card, that is one of the most trying experiences ever, when you go through your ego death, where you're watching your flesh die, literally. So the death card talks about endings, it talks about losses, it talks about changing, talks about severing ties, you know, cutting cords, releasing attachments, karmic cords. It's about transition. It's also about eliminating things out of your life. On a lower level, you'll be looking at this as a loss. You'll be in a state of depression, loss of faith, loss of hope, if you get into that, and holding on to the old, not willing to let go and transform yourself in a lower, if you're in that lower vibrational state, when you're in that energy of the devil, pretty much. So so we're gonna get into that. So the death, which is the crucifixion, where he goes to his death moment. If I can find it. Okay, so in Matthew 27:45 to 54 was the verses that I was drawn to look into. Those were the ones I was drawn to. It says, oh, and okay, this is what stood out to me. So Matthew 27, 2 plus 7 is 9. And then you have 45 through verse 54. So 45 and 54, they're both 9s. So 27, 45, and 54 add up to 999. So that's an energy of completion. That's an energy of mastery. That's the end, right? So that's, I don't know, that stood out to me. So 999 might be significant for you. That might be significant. So verse 45 says, from noon, aka 12 o'clock, 1 plus 2 is what? 3. There's that 3 again. They talk about the 3 days. So you have that 33. Jesus, again, he died at 33. That's a number of ascension. It says until 3 in the afternoon. So 3, 3, 3. 12 noon. 1 plus 2 is 3. Until 3 in the afternoon. Until darkness. In the afternoon of darkness. So that's like evening time, right? Day to night. Shadow, light versus shadow. So I took that, what they were saying, noon till the afternoon of darkness, I took that as the light and the shadow. That's what I took from that. Came over lands. Verse 46, about 3 in the afternoon, 3:33 now, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Which translates to, my God, why have you forsaken me? And when you're in that state of you're going through your ego death, it's like, why the fuck am I going through this? This is horrible. This is painful. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live anymore. You go through that spiral of wanting to give up. And it's like you feel like you're alone. You're in this energy of just complete despair or darkness. When you go through your ego death, y'all know how that feels. For some people, it could be an hour. It could be a day. It could be 3 days. It could be months. It could be years where you go through these transitions periodically. Like, this isn't just one event. Like, it happens. It happens when you shed. Every time that you shed and you release something heavy off of you, it feels like you're in it for days or for hours, but really it might even be just 10 minutes where you go through that moment. But yeah, he said, why have you forsaken me? Then verse 48, I went to verse 48. It talks about how the soldiers gave Jesus a sponge of vinegar wine. They offered it to him to drink. So in this verse, they talk about it's in Psalm 69:21. They talk about the significance of the vinegar wine, and it's when your flesh is in thirst. That's like you're in your weakness. Again, you're weak. So they give you the wine to numb your senses of the pain. So when you're in that, you try to numb yourself with the pain. When you are in that, like, you might try to smoke some weed. You might literally try to drink some wine. You may try to have sex. You may try to eat it away, but nothing works. Because Jesus was still suffering on that cross. After he took that, he was still suffering. His senses, it didn't go away. And I hope my sister doesn't mind me sharing this. One of my sisters, she was going through a really, really, really trying period, like where her body was weak, she was sick, and nothing she took could help her. No medicines. It might help her go to sleep, but it was like that pain was always there. It wouldn't go away. And when you go through Ascension process, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced like headaches that won't go away. No matter what you do, you can try to take a natural remedy. You can try to take Advil or something, but that headache, it won't go away. So it's like, it's not meant to. You can't numb this thing away because it's clearing up some shit. So that's what I took from that. They were offering him this to numb his senses of the crucifixion, aka numb the pain. So when you're in that state, you may try to take drugs, you may try to have sex, try to eat, try to sleep it away. Like Solange just craning in the sky. Like, nothing she did could take away that pain. It's like you can't overseed that. You can't dance it away. You can't read it away. You can't write it away. It's like you got to deal with it. You have to deal with it head on. And that's what I get from this. So verse 50, it says, when Jesus cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. Meaning, that's when he died. He let go. When he gave up his spirit, I picked up, he surrendered his flesh, aka his ego. He let go of his ego. He surrendered to that. He let go of the false beliefs of, like, let's put it in a mundane sense. When you give up your ego, you let go of all the false beliefs, all the lies that you were told, or in that moment, whatever you're wrestling with, you're letting that energy go. You're letting it go. It doesn't serve you anymore. It's painful. It hurts because it's piercing you on an energetic level, but it's the flesh is holding on to it. So once you let that go, that's when he passed, right? And even in John 19:28, it talks about when he passes, he said, it is finished. So at that time, when you let the ego go, it's done. So the job is done. Whatever needs to be extracted, whatever is being dismantled and removed out of your life, whatever does not serve you. So here comes the tower moment. And the tower moment is the destruction of the temple, which is in Matthew 21:12-13. I spoke about the temple shortly. So the temple, I took that. Our body is a temple. So our being, our, whether that be our spirit body, whether that be our physical fleshly body, the temple represents that. And it can also represent our foundation. Temple can represent a structure of something. When you think of the tower, that's the foundation of something. So the tower is all about sudden changes, destructions, chaos, adversity. On a lower level, it could represent obstacles or fear of change. So sometimes the tower has to come to shake shit up, and it comes unexpectedly. However it happens, sometimes it can happen within chaos, whether it happens via losing your job, losing someone in your life, whether through breakup or through death, or having a near-death experience, or losing your house, or anything. It could come in ways of that as well. So the temple, they talk about it in Matthew 21, 12 through 13. It says, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. So well, actually that's not in Matthew's. This was another, actually yes it is. I'm all over the place, my bad you guys. Yeah, he talks about, Jesus talks about this temple that he's about to destroy. Early on in Matthew's, he talks about it, because it's like where all the hustlers go to, and they're doing shit they're not supposed to do in this holy temple. And he drove them out of that place. He stopped them from selling and buying in the temple. He's cleansing the temple, meaning he's cleansing that energetic space, whether that be the temple within you or in your environment, coming in to destroy and cleanse out all of the filth in your life. So when you go through that tower moment, it's dismantling all of the bullshit out of the way. It's cleansing all of that out. So back to Matthew 27, 51 through 54. 51 says, the temple was torn from top to bottom. So top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, tombs broken open. So when it talks about the split, that's like the split between the ego and the higher self, or that's when you're broken open. Like in that moment where you surrender and you're vulnerable, you open yourself up, you split yourself, and it's like you open up, right? If that makes sense. That's how I took it. It says, bodies of the holy people who have died were raised to live. They went into the holy city, appearing to many people after Jesus' resurrection. So the split opens, that's you being broken in order to be expanded. That split of the temple, the tower moment, that's you being broken in order to be expanded. Separate your old self from the new you. This includes your reality, your emotions, your thoughts, your beliefs, etc. The bodies of the holy people. So the word holy it represents that purity of God, that wholeness. Wholeness within self. Let's use that in that sense. The holy bodies of people who died come to life to visit. So this represents your light. The holy people coming up to life, the dead coming up to life. So this is like a new you, a new person. You have to die in order to be this new energy, if that makes sense. A new you, your light being shed. This represents your resurrection, your renewal. Going to the holy city, appearing to new people before, or appearing new to before others. So when they say in the verse, in that part where they said, the holy people who have died, who were raised to live, they went into the holy city, appearing to many people after Jesus' resurrection. So what I took from that is like, that's you in a new energy, or your environment completely shifted, and everyone around you sees that. You're appearing before these other people. I've died and I live again. I'm resurrected, if that makes sense. So then when they talk about the guards who had to guard the gate where Jesus was, where they kept his body, it says the guards, and I put the agents. These agents, people that are watchers, nosy motherfuckers, people that don't have any good intentions, those people, they saw all of this, and they were terrified. They were witnessing this. So they witnessed the resurrection of these dead people, these dead bodies as holy beings, and coming up again. And I also took that as ancestors, spirit guides coming to visit them. But they were terrified. They were terrified by what they saw, and they said, surely he was the Son of God. So these are the people that are going to witness the miracle within you of what they said you weren't able to do, what you couldn't do, be, or have. They're going to be able to see that. You're going to be living proof of all of this. So understand, this is also for you to understand what you grew through. Other people are also going to see your testimony or hear your testimony and what you grew through, what you are growing through, and help other people as well as when they're growing through this. So that's not the only reason. It's not the only reason why we go through these things is for our spiritual strength and for our betterment and for our enlightenment, but it's also for that of others. So when you heal yourself, you heal others. When you heal others, you heal yourself. So it's always a higher purpose to this. So in short, just kind of to understand a little bit like where you could be right now. Do not be tempted to fall victim to these lower vibrational thoughts and energies. And I know if you guys do deal with depression, if that's one of your battles and stuff like that, I'm not a health physician by any means. So I'm not saying to just like sweep that under the rug or what have you, but I do want to be able to help to some degree with when you guys go through those dark periods or when you deal with those spiritual fights and struggles. You have to have something to fight that and battle it with. Don't sit in it. Don't allow it to defeat you. And when you go through your ego deaths and your cycles, it could seem like you're by yourself. You want to throw in the towel. You want to give up. It's a painful process, but know that it does not last forever. So I was drawn to Matthew 17 and 20, and it says, if you have faith as a size of a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, aka obstacles, whatever your obstacles are, whatever it is that you're overcoming, you say to that obstacle, move from here to there, meaning you're decreeing to remove it. I decree to remove this mountain from here to there, this obstacle from here to there. I'm saying to this obstacle, I remove you, I release you. You have no power over my life. However you declare or decree something, a thing, to remove it, that's what that means. And it says, and it will move. So when you say something, when you say to your obstacles or to your enemy, when you combat that and tell it to go or to flee or to be released, to be removed, it will be moved. You have to have faith, even if it's a small, a mustard seed is tiny. So when you're in that state where you're fighting these obstacles and these battles and you're doubting yourself, but if you have that small inch of faith that says, I even have it in my mouth just to speak and say, this has no power over my life anymore, or I don't believe those thoughts, that's not true because such and such. Or there's no weapon formed against me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Whatever you have it in you. You have that little fight in you. And it makes me think of the Nine of Wands. It's like that wounded warrior card. Like, I'm wounded, but I still have something in me to still fight, no matter what I've gone through or no matter where I'm at. When I struggle with my inner demons and stuff like that, like, they really try to get at me. And there's times where I can't even pray against them. And there's something in me that's just like, I can't do it. I can't, but I want to. Something will conjure up within you to combat these things. If you truly want to, if you have that small faith, even in your lowest point, you can fight this. You don't have to be the most confident person or think, oh, I'm not that strong or I don't know anything. When you have it in your heart to want to make a change or to release something out of your life, just that desire is going to manifest itself to remove that thing, if that makes sense. Like, I'll be trying to speak in tongues and like sometimes it won't come out because that heavy energy is so strong on me, but there's still something in me that's like, I don't want it to be here. I need this to go, and there will be a way that it'll manifest. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I hope I wasn't getting too preachy or too spiritual by this, but Spirit like led me to look into the Bible in that sense and like break it down in that way. And I'm grateful for this, and I'm also grateful for Chance the Rapper for posting that, because that opened the floodgates to this. Like, that opened up some other shit, because I was trying to figure out like what my dream, like what was I supposed to take out of that dream, because I remembered it and I was unsettled by it. And I feel like that was my answer. So, and I said, I'm going to share this because it just went into a whole nother thing. And I said, I'm gonna share it. So if you guys watched my other live, there's a part 2 to this that unfortunately got shut down because, you know, I'm going to assume it's like, no, we're not gonna share this. You need to shut the fuck up. We're not gonna share it, okay? So, yeah. Like, no, heifer, we're gonna shut your live down, and we're not, because sometimes when your live shut down, it'll stay up. Yeah, it'll stay up sometimes, and then it'll allow you to resume the live stream, but it didn't even allow me to do that. It was like, nope, start you another live over, okay? No, I'm just saying. Yeah, no. I'm gonna get the message out. If it's something that is divinely meant to help somebody, I'm gonna let it go. That it was needed. Yeah. I hope this message helped you guys. I know I can be a little out there sometime with my deliveries and my message, and I have like a hypertension, something like hyper active energy where I bounce from this place to that. But you know, I just, it's just my delivery. That's just the way that spirit helps. But if you guys need me to slow down or like break something down a little bit more, I surely will. Because things, if I don't write it down, I'll forget it. And sometimes even as I'm sharing what I channeled, more things will come in and it'll just like take me to another level. So yeah, it'll take me somewhere else. But I'm grateful for this, that this is what Spirit's leading me into, because I feel like Spirit's helping me to understand the Bible at a deeper level and to also have a stronger connection with my Creator. Is building that up and also helping me to understand where I'm at, and also to help other people, hopefully help y'all understand where you might be within yourself, or help you to, you know, be spiritually strong in this season and any season of your life, because there's good things that are coming in for a lot of people, and we have many blessings to be grateful for. So don't forget the energy of gratitude. You know, as I'm going through my obstacles and stuff like that, the things that I'm combating and fighting, it's teaching me more about myself, and it helps me to also help other people as well that might grow through the same thing as me. So I'm not perfect. I'm not a guru. I'm not sitting up here like, oh, you know, I got all the answers. Sway, I ain't got all the answers, okay? I don't. But I believe that, like my good sister Dara said, a test is your testimony. So the tests that I have gone through are my testimony to share with y'all, so that it may help you, and you help someone else as you grow through your cycles and your season. And it doesn't even have to be on a platform. It could just be people that are sent to you, or people that you feel led to. So yeah, I don't want to become like a preachy person and like a Bible thumper, because that's not what this is about. You know, I resonate with the Bible. I resonate with the parables and how Spirit speaks to me and stuff like that. And it's helping me, like I said, to develop a stronger connection with that and understanding. And on top of that, like the tarot is giving me a whole new like perspective on the tarot. So I enjoy it. And it's refreshing, because I'm not always like talking about love. And I don't want to demonize love and relationships and connections, but it's refreshing to not always have to read on that type of stuff all the time, because it gives me a little bit of a break from that world for a second, because I am being dealt with when it comes to my singleness and all of that. So, you know, and I'll talk about that more too, because I've been asked to do more readings for singles. I've also gotten emails, you know, saying, you know, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to probably share more about my experiences and my stories. Yeah, isolation is a good place to be when you're using it wisely. Because isolation, you could just be doing nothing. But when you're using your time, your hermit time alone for healing purposes or for enlightenment or what have you, it's not for that. Yes, finding our purpose. Because I speak to a lot of people that resonate with the whole twin flame stuff, and if you identify with twin flames as they depict it to be, this divine connection in which you guys are meant to come together and save humanity and all that good stuff. So even if you believe in that, let's focus on our purpose. Like, it doesn't stop here. It doesn't just stop with the love and the romance stuff. So if you guys resonate with twin flames and all that other stuff, we could talk about your energy and focusing on what you're supposed to be doing, and it like, or help you to understand what you're supposed to be doing, because I'm not here to tell you what you're supposed to be doing. I'm just gonna help you filter it out, and you ask spirit or the universe to guide you and show you, because I can't tell you, you know, what your purpose is on the level that God can, or the universe or your creator or your spiritual team can show you. I can't. So yeah, I'll speak more on that, and I'll probably do more like channel messages and open topics, like, you know, things of a spiritual nature and stuff like that, along with my readings, because it's time to do that now. It is time. And I think my biggest block is like, oh, are people going to think I'm doing too much? And yeah, you know, am I doing too much? And, you know, am I gonna lose, like, who cares if you lose subscribers at this point? Because I'm not just sitting on here to just like feed your ego and do pick of cards all day. Like, I can't do that. It's fun, but it's a burnout. And it's like when you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, or you're trying to appease people, and you're not authentically on this for yourself, like, not for self in that sense, but you're not doing it where you're honoring your truth and your stance and what you even came here for, then that's why it feels like you're just dying and you get tired of this shit and you don't want to do it anymore. But balance people, you know, what you guys want to see, with respect of still keeping it real, keeping it G, you know, giving y'all the pick of cards and the little love stuff and all of that, but still honoring truth in that. But I also have to honor myself and where I feel like I need to grow with my channel and my content. Not everybody's gonna like it, and that's cool, because it's not gonna be for everybody, but I have to honor that. So I'm going to do more open discussions and topics and stuff, because as I heal, you guys heal, and as I'm healing y'all, I heal, even just by sharing my story and stuff like that. And I deal with the imposter syndrome. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but it's like, oh, is this being authentic, or is this me being like a narcissist and trying to be a show off and all that? But if it's coming from a place of love, there's no way that could be it. And I only share my story to help people, because I'm not an open book comfortably. I'm not that type of person that like to share my whole fucking story with y'all. But when I'm led to, I do. And I feel like it's because I'm led to, and because I'm meant to help somebody in some type of way. Because I'm not perfect. Nobody is. And I don't feel like spirituality is meant to be this loving light, like, I am namaste and the crystals, and it's not all that hotep and queen goddess beloved shit. Like, there's so many other sides to spirituality, and raw and uncut. And I judge myself sometimes. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not spiritual enough, or, you know, all this stupid shit. So hopefully I can like spark and help people in a way that tunes them into themselves and what their mark is supposed to be, and how they express themselves spiritually without all of the fucking programs and, oh, spirituality is only this and all this other bullshit. Because we live in an infinite universe, and it's so many different realities and so many different belief systems and ideas and energies to create. So I'm a firm believer that one person's truth may not be another person's truth, but that does not make it that it's not true. I believe in that. I don't know. Just like people think this corona shit is man-made, or God's doing it, or it's not real, and I feel like there's truth in everything somehow. There's truth in everything. We live in an infinite fucking universe, so there's truth in everything. So, with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this little installment that we had here. I hope it helps somebody. You can share this with someone. And I'll be right back. Definitely spiritual warfare. Everything is spiritual first. I do agree with you with that, Dara. Everything is spiritual first. Flesh and physical 3D reality comes second, comes last. Like, it's so much more on a grander scale. So I appreciate you guys. I want to talk more, but I don't want to extend this watch too long. I want people to get what they need to get out of it, and then, you know, take it as they are guided to. But I did want to have more of a discussion because I wanted to go into some more stuff. So if y'all will be up, you guys will see like at least 3 lives pop up on your notifications, and that could be annoying, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So much love as always.